Hey everybody, and welcome back to 3COG. Today we are going to be talking about Walther P38 P1 variant. So as my channel is named after, there are three types of guns that are interesting. Old guns, and cool old guns. This definitely fits into the cool gun, cool old gun category. The Walther P38 was famously used during World War II. Nazi Germany ceased production when they lost, and started production again in 1957 with the P1 variant. One of the biggest differences between a P38 and a P1 is the grips being black plastic on the P1 variant as opposed to the Bakelite that was used during World War II. So this particular P38 P1 was made in 1961. It is an actual police pistol. It's got the appropriate markings underneath the grips that show it was used by a police force, and then at some point in time was sold as surplus, and then it found its way into the United States. One of the good things about that is this pistol doesn't have any import marks on it, so that increases its collectability and desirability. So all of the markings are the original markings from Walther, and then the police markings underneath the grips. So pretty cool little piece of history. So before I go too far down that rabbit hole, get my standard disclaimer out of the way. Dear YouTube, I'm a firearms safety instructor in the military. Everything's being done in a safe fashion. There's no ammunition present. And the purpose of this video is just to show the basic function of the weapon and the preservation of history. Nothing that I'm doing this video violates the AdSense policy on firearms or YouTube's policy on monetization of firearms videos. So don't demonetize me, bro. So the Walther P38 feeds from 8-round single-stack magazines. It features a heel-style magazine release. So when your magazine was out, your slide would lock to the rear. You would drop the magazine out by pressing right here, and then pulling your mag. You would retain it, and then put your next magazine in. And then just hit your slide release right here. So very similar to what we're used to with most modern pistols as far as the slide release goes, but not with the magazine release. Magazines were treated as retainable items at that time, whereas at least in the United States, we're very used to just discarding or dropping our empty magazines when we're done shooting them. Walther P38 features the famous locking lug design. More on that in the assembly-disassembly video. But that design was copied by Beretta in the M9, which is still in use in the military today. So it is a double-action, single-action, short recoil, semi-automatic 9mm handgun. So double-action, single-action refers to the hammer and the trigger. So if I put this weapon on fire, press the trigger, hammer moves to the rear, and then it goes forward. And the firearm would have shot, the slide would have cycled, and now my hammer remains to the rear. Ease my trigger out, get my reset right there, and press. And that's the single action trigger pull on it. Additionally, because it's double action, single action, if the hammer's to the rear with the weapon on fire, I can thumb the safety back down to safe, and it decocks the hammer. Weapon also features a loaded chamber indicator, which is a pin-style loaded chamber indicator. So if I actually had a round in the chamber, the pin right here would protrude out. The pin is bright silver, so during daylight you can see it, and at night you can run your finger over right here and actually feel it. So that's a brief overview on the Walther P38. It's a neat little piece of history. This one's in very, very good shape with just a few minor scratches on the plastic. No real blemishes in the metal. It's a beautiful example. Special thank you to the gentleman that let me do the video on this. I appreciate his time as always. Thanks for watching. See you next time on 3COG.